Welcome to PA Timber Goose. Very beautiful morning along the Stony Valley Rail Trail. Very peaceful up here. A lot of work done to the road. It's about a foot higher than it used to be. Looks like all the drainage pipes were replaced. And there's a gully on both sides of the road for the water to drain down through. Instead of washing out the road. A couple of cars in the parking lot. It's about 10 o'clock, so there's not many people here. Today we're going to walk back to Tanker Hole, and we're going to relax back there for a little bit. At some point here, if you follow this all the way out, it'll go down the other side towards Gold Mine Road. They carved quite a few parking spots in here. And we have the Game Lands Tour in the fall, which is in October. You can check on the Game Commission's website for that. There are many parking spots back here. Hopefully this area will always be protected. And we'll never clear cut or log this out. This area has a lot of timber back here, a lot of big timber. Every year there's quite a few bear taken up on the left hand side here. Swatara is on one side and Stony Creek is on the other. I believe Swatara is on the right side of the mountain and Stony Creek is up on the left of me here. It's definitely a good spot to ride your bike, but it sure does get busy on the weekends. When we came in was on the left, Rattling Run Road. It goes up over the mountain and it follows the top and it comes out back in the middle out here. Like Cold Spring somewhere, and somewhere around Yellow Springs, which is in the middle. We're at the Water Tank Trail, and we're going to go down to the water here and relax. Here's a cable lock here. This is what I use on my trail cameras, but they make a nice bike lock also. We are at the Tanker Hole. You can sit here and do some serious relaxing. Let's turn the camera around here, give you a view of this. The water in here is fairly dark. It's has like a stain color to it from the hemlocks falling in the water. The needles stain it dark. It's pretty low, but I've actually seen it lower in here. Usually the Tanker Hole is up to my chest or higher. I'm sure out in the middle out there it's a little deeper. I see a couple suckers on the bottom. Usually you can see them swimming back and forth on the bottom. You can see their white belly. If you're in a very healthy stream, the first thing you want to look for are frogs and tadpoles. If you have those, then it's fairly healthy. Because if it's polluted, that's the first thing that dies. One thing more susceptible to pollution than frogs, believe it or not, are suckers. Suckers feed off the bottom. If you see suckers in that hole, it's very clean. Back in the old day, there was a lot of people that like to eat suckers. Usually they end up, there's something there hitting the top of the water. That's the second time. So there's still a few fish in there. Back in the old days, all the old timers ate suckers. They would fill 5-gallon buckets up full of them. They're full of bones, but if you cut them sideways and fry them, I was told that the bones disintegrate, and they are very delicious, but you have to cook them the right way. Here's a cable going across the stream. This has it's pretty high. There's a ladder going up to it, up to the top. The old cable's right there. You can see how it's grown in the tree. That's probably been there for 20 or 30 years. and the tree grew around it. The bottom actually looks like a climbing rope. I thought maybe they put another piece of wire in there, but they didn't. This is actually black rope. And then you have this cool ladder going up there. The ladder is tied to the top so it doesn't bounce, but there's no way I would walk on that rope unless I had a harness. And if you look on the other side here, there's another strap in the middle with a carabiner, and there's one over there, and then there's another rope on the other side. Judging by how high that is, I think that wire was embedded in that tree for quite a while, because the other wires at the other end of the valley that we walked across when we went around the reservoir are not that high. They were about 5 foot lower. So the trees on both sides must have got higher. But very interesting. Tell me if you would go across there like we did the wires at Lebanon Reservoir. And there's also one of those at Clark's Creek above the dam on the Red Trail. There's no way I would go over that rope. That is really unsafe. Here's the old water line they used to pump water out of. Right here. I never seen a tank or anything that went into. I still see a couple fish hitting the top of the water. You can see the rings getting farther out there in the water. I've seen that a few times. It's not necessarily a trout. There's a lot of small fish in here, some shiners. A lot of times you'll see the most interesting wildlife, but you have to slow down from what you're doing. And a lot of times wildlife is very close to your feet or you, and you don't even know it. All right, let's walk up through this boulder pile, welcome to Rocksylvania, and look for some cool stuff. Here's some deer sign along the trail here, and they're digging for acorns that didn't germinate, or maybe ones that fell off from the oak trees here. There's a lot of hemlocks in here, and there's oak trees above the hemlocks. There's an oak tree there, and they're above the canopies of the hemlock trees. So what happens is the acorns fall down, and they're usually right around the edges of them in here, and they'll keep scratching around them rocks till they find them. You can see all the areas that they scratched out over here. And all that's from a deer. It would be, if it was a turkey, it would be a big circle. And a lot of times turkeys will lose a feather while they're in there digging. A lot of times they'll lose a wing feather or something, or some down from underneath, and that'll be the telltale sign of that bird. But that's a deer digging in here. If you came up here early in the morning and you walked the other side of the stream bank very quietly, you would probably see them in the morning. If you were very stealthy, had some darker colored clothing on so they couldn't pick you out. I just love walking up along this stream because you never know what you're going to find. I've run into a mama bear in here with some cubs a few years ago with my wife. She thought it was me behind her making all that noise, and no, it wasn't. It was a really big bear. I've seen a family of otters. I've seen mink, turkeys, lots of deer, and I've even snuck up on a few turkey hunters back here and deer hunters, and they never knew I was there because it was raining and I was really quiet. You listen to the stream here a few minutes. This is a spring bubbling up out of the ground. You can see the bubbles coming out up there. A lot of these feed Stony Creek. This keeps the water cold throughout the year, which helps a lot of the trout survive. It doesn't have a high flow right now, but you can see how it goes down here. There are some frogs in there. I know this water's clean. There's no acid mine drainage in here. It would have killed the frogs. If it was hot during the summer, you could sit in that cold water and that would probably feel really good. That's a very clean water in there. Stony Creek has springs like that on both sides. The main tributary to this stream is Rouse Creek, which is coming out of Rouse Gap. Rouse Creek has a very high flow, and unfortunately, it's coming out of a mine, and it's heavily contaminated with heavy metals from the mine, and the limestone treatment, which is at the gap, cuts a lot of the pH out of the water before it gets to here. At one time, this stream was dead till they put that limer in up there and reduced the pH. That'll be another video. Acid mine drainage. How does it affect the waterways? How toxic is it? What's actually in acid mine drainage? It's not what you think it is. Stroll up through the hemlocks here. You can hear that beautiful stream flowing by ever so gently on my right hand side. Here's a butterfly wing. This is from a monarch. Something must have had him for a meal. That's all that's left is one wing. Bird probably got him. Here's some animal sign here. This is either a coyote or a fox. Now, how do I tell that? Because there's a lot of fur in here. You can see the pieces of fur in that scat. Coyotes do eat a lot of mice. Coyotes will eat anything they can find. They are an omnivore. They will eat meat, berries, mice, anything dead that they can find. So there's some more animal sign there. We've only gone about 100 yards from where I stopped to take a break down there. There's so much wildlife in here if you can actually pick out where it is and what it is as you walk along. Thanks for watching PA Timber Ghost. Thanks for coming along today on our hike along Stony Creek. Hopefully you enjoyed all the serenity and beauty back here. Very few wildlife sightings today, only some tracks. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. Hit that subscribe button to help my channel grow. If you're a new subscriber to PA Timber Goose, welcome to the family. And as always, we will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching PA Timber Goose.